Hey, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you're watching this live video. I had a video last week that I posted about setting up boundaries. And on a couple of my platforms that I have accounts with, I noticed this topic came up a lot. And I wanted to go into even more detail. So if you did not watch the first video on my page or on YouTube, check it out. I go into the first two things you need to think about when you're setting up boundaries. But today I want to share with you a little bit more, two more tips to help you set those boundaries. So the first tip I would recommend for you to think about if you're trying to set some boundaries, in addition to what I've already told you, so check those videos out, ladies, is to listen. And you might be wondering what does listening have to do with setting up boundaries? Well, if you listen, you can actively tell when a conversation that you're having with someone else, could be a friend, a coworker, business associate, is going in a direction that it doesn't need to go to. They may be saying something that may be a bit more unprofessional. So if you're actively listening very, very carefully, then you can pick up pretty quick that we probably shouldn't be talking about this conversation right now. So make sure you spend some time actively listening. It is something I talk about in my group coaching program called the Confidence Game Plan. Active listening is really important. It helps to get you out of trouble quite a bit. Oftentimes I notice a lot of people when they're having conversations with coworkers and etc., there's this bobblehead syndrome where we just listen to what someone says and we just keep nodding our head. Well, I recommend you ladies to stop. Don't do that. Listen to what they're saying. If you feel like you agree with what is being said, then shake your head. But don't just automatically just nod your head up and down, because if they're saying something that is not professional or going to put you in a situation where your boundaries are going to be placed in a not so ideal place, you're basically telling them it's okay for you to keep talking about this nonsense. And every time you do that, the more people think that it's okay to talk about that, and that's causing the boundaries to be a little bit blurred. So try your best not to do that. My second tip for you this morning would be to think about exactly what you want to say to someone when they are starting to make the boundaries a bit blurred. So something that I do, and I've done this so many times, 'cause I've been in these situations, ladies, too, where people talk about just random stuff that can make them think it's okay for them to talk about. And I'm going to switch around here because there's a lawnmower. I don't want to make sure you hear what I'm saying. So I've been in situations where people will say things that are unprofessional and they're trying to drag you into it. And so one of the things that I like to say is the following. When I've actively listened to what they've said, and I know that they're saying something a little bit too crazy, what I will do is focus on something that's related to business or whatever the topic is. So I may say, okay, what about this report we're supposed to be working on? Or do you have any updates on this project? I'm really excited to hear more about it. That's a great way to just detract any type of unprofessional conversations that may come up and set your boundaries. So you're setting your boundaries to put yourself in a position where you're the professional woman, you're conducting yourself as a professional, and those boundaries that you set will help you in other aspects of your life as you're setting more boundaries. Now, if you want to learn more, let me know, because I have a lot of experience with the good, the bad, and unfortunately the ugly as it relates to setting boundaries. DM me at Excite Excellence. I'll be happy to help you with that, or sign up for my mailing list. I give tips there also. So as you all know, on every live I do, I'm going to go back. I'm going to wave at every single one of you. I'm going to stop walking for a second because I appreciate you all so much for taking time out of your day today to spend with me about setting boundaries. All right, for those of you all who just joined, there's two more tips I want to give you, ladies, on how to set your boundaries. Tip number one is make sure you're actively listening to what's being said so you can detract the conversation if you need to. And number two is make sure you have something to say that will redirect that conversation so that you put yourself in a more professional setting and they understand that there's some conversations they probably shouldn't have with you. All right, I hope that information was helpful to you. You have any questions, DM me at Excite Excellence, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.